Welcome to today's class. In this very video, we shall be considering some few numbers of quiz, and uh, and these quiz are going to be based on the topic, which says Spazio necessario a sorpasso. So in English, discipline means the necessary space required to carry out an overtaking during driving. So the necessary space, are required to carry out an overtaking during driving. So before we move straight to start answering the quiz, uh, I will I would like to elaborate on what the term really talks about. So when we are talking about spazio necessario uh, for the space, the necessary space required to carry out overtaking. So in this kind of quiz, there are some certain things in which you must take into proper considerations. So some of these things are: number one, so for you to carry out your overtaking during the time of driving, so number one thing that you must take into proper consideration, is the sufficient space in that road. So before you overtake, so you must know that the the road in where that you are overtaking so has a sufficient space, so that will enable you to carry out an effective overtaking. And again, so it also talks about the condition of the road. Looking at the condition of the road, it is simply talking about, in the Italian lesson, there is what we call, sensor unico and the doppio sensor. So as we go on, I will explain it. So sensor unico is the one that has a one way lane, while the doppler sensor is the one that has both lane. So where you have another vehicle coming at your opposite. So that one also matters. And again, is segnale stradale. Segnale stradale. So we have what we call the vieto di sorpasso. So all those things are things you must take into proper consideration. So because we have some few questions to answer, so as we start answering it, I will be explaining it one after the other. So number one question says, it says, il sorpasso è vietato in caso di scarsa visibilità. Il sorpasso è vietato in caso di scarsa visibilità. Vero o falso? Vero o falso? So the answer to this question is vero. So let's see, it's vero. You can see it. So, but I will explain to you the reason why this very question is vero. So first and foremost, let me explain to you in English. It says, il sorpasso and overtaking è vietato. So it's forbidden. This very word, take note of this very word, vietato. In caso di scarsa visibilità, in case of poor visibility. So it's simply talking about if the road that you are about to carry, in the road that where you are about to carry out your overtaking, in a situation whereby the viewiness of that road, the sight, so it has a poor visibility, so you can't carry out an effective overtaking. So that is what this one is very talking about. This very question is talking about. Before you overtake, you must make sure that the view of that road is effective. The road has a proper view. So with that, it will enable you to carry out an effective, overtaking. But in a situation whereby the load has poor visibility, so it is not going to be effective. So for you to carry out an overtaking. So this is the reason why this very question is very. Take note of that. So number 2, it says è consentito il sorpasso a destra del motocicli se vi è spazio sufficiente. Vero or falso? So this very one is falso. I will explain to you the reason why it's falso. First and foremost, it says è consentito. This very statement, è consentito, it simply says that you should continue, that you are permitted. Consentito è sorpasso a destra. You are permitted, you should continue to overtake in right hand side. In real sense, overtaking is always carried out in left hand side. So before, let me explain something to you what I'm trying to talk about. So a road is like this. So if you want to overtake, you always overtake at the left. But now the question is now saying that you should carry out your overtaking in the right, and which is forbidden. You can't. But in a situation whereby the vehicles in your front has already, traffic, to turn to the right, so in a situation like that, you can overtake. You can overtake in right hand side. But if it is normal like this, it is impossible. So now let us go back to the question again. It says a consentito sorpasso a destra. That you should continue. You are permitted to overtake, in your right hand side, and it's falso. So the best, and the permitted, best position to carry out your overtaking, so is always at the right hand side. You don't overtake. It's always at the left hand side. So you don't overtake at your right hand side. So this is the reason why this one is false. So take note of that. Number 3 question. It says lo spazio necessario per il sorpasso aumenta se il veicolo da sorpassare rilenta. So this very one, vero or falso? So the answer to this very one, is falso. I will explain to you why it's falso. It says la spazio. This word spazio simply means the space. It's more or less like a English word. It says the space necessary for you to overtake. This word aumenta simply means increase, expand, whichever word you want to, you can make use of that one. Expand, so increase. So it says the space necessary for you to overtake. It says it increase in a situation whereby the vehicle that you're about to overtake slow down, reduce his or her speed. So this rallentare simply means to slow down, to reduce your velocity. So it's falso, because if you want to overtake any vehicle, and the vehicle that you're about to overtake so reduce his or her speed, so automatically it will be very easy for you to overtake. But in a situation whereby they now says the vehicle that you are overtaking, so in terms of overtaking it, that the vehicle now increase his or her speed, so such question is a different something. But in this very case, since that the vehicle that you are overtaking so has already reduced his or her speed, so automatically, so the space necessary for you to overtake, it will become a bit lesser. So that is the reason why this one is fast. So take note of that. So another question we have again, it says il sorpasso è vietato sulla curva e su dorsi della strada a senso unico. Now, I was explaining something to you that we talking about road, la strada, we have doppio senso, we have senso unico. So it's now saying that il sorpasso. Now let me explain to you this very one. It says il sorpasso è vietato sulla curva sulla curva e sulla dosse della strada a senso unico. So vero or falso? This very one is falso. Now let me explain to you the reason why this one is falso. It says, overtaking. This word vietato, take note, forbidding. Vietato simply means forbidding, something that is not acceptable. So it says a sorpasso è vietato. So overtaking is forbidden. Sulla curva. Curva simply means, a bent road. Sulla dorso. Dorso simply means, a road that has hill. Della strada a senso unico. When we are talking about della strada a senso unico, we are simply looking at a road like this. So in a situation whereby you are overtaking in a road like this, even if the road is a bent road or the road has, some hill known as dorso, so you can overtake because where the space is, well sufficient. And again, the lanes, are very free because there is no vehicle coming, in your front, in opposite of you. So this very kind of road permits an overtaking in a situation whereby the road, is a bent road and at the same time it has a hill. But in a situation whereby the now says, in in doppio senso that you should continue to overtake is faster, is not permitted. So take note of that. Doppio senso is normal road such as this. So a road whereby you have only one way and there is vehicle coming in an opposite of you. So in a situation like this, if the road is a bent road and at the same time it has a hill, so the permission for you to overtake is not permitted. So there is no possibility. The possibility is not there, so you don't have to overtake in a situation like this. But if the road is senso unico, like the one I just stated before, this very one, so you can overtake. So take note of that. This is the reason why this one is false. So the last but not the least, so it says il sorpasso è vietato in prossimità della curva su strada a due corsie a doppio senso di marcia. So it says this very one, vero or falso? So the answer to this very one is vero. Now I will explain to you. We have stated, we have we elaborated on the senso unico before. So this very one now, is the opposite side of senso unico because we have doppio senso. Doppio senso is the normal road. Now here is now saying that il sorpasso, overtaking, è vietato, is forbidden. So in a road that has a curve, curve simply means, curve simply means curve. A road that has a curve. Sulla strada a due corsie a doppio senso di marcia. So in a road that has, double lane. Double lane simply means a road that has a lane. In a road whereby you are driving, there is another vehicle coming in opposite of you. They only have, two passage. So in a situation like this, such road is known as doppio senso. In a situation like this, in terms of overtaking, if the road has a curve and at the same time, or if the road has anything like here, so in a situation like this, you don't need to overtake in such road. But if the road is senso unico, as I earlier explained, so you can overtake. Take note of this question. Don't forget. So our topic was based under the concept, which is Spazio necessario a sorpasso. So the space, necessary to carry out an effective overtaking. So this year will be rounding up our lesson today. So if you have any question or you have any opinion, please always made it known to us in the comment section. And if you have not subscribed to our YouTube channel, please try and subscribe to our YouTube channel. And again, we are all here to learn. Nobody is perfect. I'm only trying to, the little that I know, I'm only doing my best, to still make sure that others benefit from it. So if you have any opinion, or you have any, anything, any question to ask, please state in the comment question in the comment section, so that everybody will also as well benefit from it. And again, if you have any question to, or maybe you want to speak to us direct, so also you can also, reach out to us under the comment section. Just drop your number, so we'll call you. So there is it. And remember to click on the notification button, so that whenever we have any videos, you will always be notified. So thanks for watching our video, and stay blessed. Bye. See you in our next class.